you doing?
Hiya, Paul. How you doing? You're back.
I'm back, man. I'm back. You can't keep me down.
How you feeling?
Good to be back, mate. Good to be back.
How you feeling?
Not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. On the mend. But and hi, everybody. Got people coming in already. We've got
Hi,
Julianne.
everyone.
Hi, Julianne and Carol. How we doing,
Carol.
everybody? Let us know you're there, everyone. Let us know
Carol.
where you are in the world.
Hiya, Sharon.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Absolutely, mate. Is that a new microphone you got there?
Yeah, some really, really nice chap from Norfolk put it in the post, and hopefully everyone can hear me better than last time.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, awesome. Okay, we got a great show tonight, mate, haven't we?
We have another lovely guest, and we missed you last week, mate.
Oh, cheers, buddy. I did watch though. I was behind the scenes watching.
Oh no, I know you were.
I was there. So, mate, we got messages today, though, aren't we? We're doing the messages later.
Yeah, and
so
hopefully our guest will chuck some messages in there as well.
I don't think he's doing it. We're doing it tonight, mate. We're on fire. We're going to do it tonight.
Fair enough.
We're going to do it tonight. So, so stick around for that, guys. Also, keep sharing. If we know you've shared, we'll put you into the hat for the free competition for free reading, and just let us know you're there. Keep sharing.
Yeah, keep sharing, everyone.
So, mate, what's been happening? Anything good down your part of the world?
Well, not only have I been unwell this last week as well, it was your turn last week, it's my turn this week. So, all happening. Nice mediumship demonstration down here a week and a bit ago now. So that went well. So, just getting used to the Glastonbury vibe, putting the name out there, getting used to the new people. They're getting used to me that I exist with working with spirit. So, onwards and upwards, as they say.
Awesome. We've got somebody new watching from Pennsylvania. Hello, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya. How you doing? Good to see you on here.
Awesome. Jane Clark. Hi, Jane and Trevor. Hope you guys are well. And Paul Cook's in.
Lovely to see you, Paul, as always. Fan favourite now.
Awesome. So let's talk about our guest tonight. We have a very handsome young man tonight. His name is Steve Razzell, and he's literally just turned as a professional medium. And we do like to vary it, don't we, mate? We like to get different people from different experiences. And so let's get him in. Fiona James, hello. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Charlie. Here we go. Here's Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Welcome to Spirit Talk, my friend.
Hi, Steve. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. And as we were explaining before we went live, we like to know you, the person, how you came into mediumship. So can you tell us a little bit how you became a medium?
Well, I was always interested throughout my life, particularly when I was younger. It was always, I had interest in the supernatural, spiritual. Yeah. Well, my mum was very spiritual, my sisters as well. And it was just an interest that really got bigger as I got in my 18s, early 20s when I joined the first circle. And I had a couple of readings when I was younger, and I was told that I could do it. And it was just something I joined at the circle, and then it just went on from there, really, to be honest. Mediumship and psychic tarot, that sort of stuff, until I moved into further into mediumship, because I chose mediumship over everything else. It was my main passion.
Was anybody in the family mediumistic, though? Did you have any experiences?
I did have experiences. I do believe my mum had experiences when she was younger and throughout her life. But to be honest, I was the only one that really took up any interest in, took it forward. Yeah, so I don't really know much, but my uncle, he's in the spirit now. He was quite psychic, but he never went into it at all. He wasn't really interested in it, but he did. I don't really know if it's in the family as such, but. It was mainly myself, to be honest.
Yeah. So you did a lot of work at the SAGB. Am I right in saying that?
No, at the College of Psychic Studies.
The College of Psychic.
Yeah, I was. I'm still a student there, advanced student.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what? I mean, I to be honest, I've never known anybody that's attended the College of Psychic Studies. What's it like?
Hang on
a minute. We got a dog in the background.
Yeah, he's from Solo now. I think. Hello.
Awesome.
Just chilling. Yeah, sort of College of Psychic Studies. It's an old Victorian house in South Kensington. It's a very nice area, actually.
Okay.
And it's been there since Victorian times, 1870s, 1880s.
Yeah.
And one of the founders is Arthur Conan Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle. And hundreds of thousands of mediums have worked there and developed there. And it's an amazing building. It's an amazing place. I absolutely love it there. And online courses at the moment now I do with my teacher because it's mainly because of lockdown.
Yeah. It's way forward, isn't it?
Yeah. But no, they still do courses at the college, but it's mainly online now because of people that have got international students there now, people that have joined circles and joined courses from all over the world, and they zoom in every week from America, from all over Europe. It's incredible now that it's gone international.
Yeah.
You meet so many fantastic people.
Yeah, and that's one good thing that's come out of lockdown though. It's brought the spiritual community together, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been one of the positives to come out of something quite negative.
It's incredible how it still works with Zoom and not having people in front of you as such.
Absolutely.
You can still get meetings and still work with people from all over the world all over the country on Zoom, and it still works just as well. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I never thought it would.
And that's why technology is just brilliant. It enables to make everything much easier. That's the best way through lockdown and helping people with their own mental health and other things as well, isn't it? So how did it all first work for you? I know you mentioned your experiences, but how did you first know with the senses where you're connecting with spirit? How did you first find out?
It was definitely through clairsentience. I've always been very sensitive, and as you learn, as you progress with your mediumship, as you learn for other mediums, everyone works differently. And with me, it was through sensitivity. That's how I work. I'm clairsentient, clairsentient mainly, but I'm also clairvoyant. For me, it was the feeling of people that I've always been the same, really, to be honest. Ever since I was a child, I've sensed things. I've sensed spirit, I suppose, ever since a child. But as I developed as a medium, I was tuning into my sensitivity, tuning into what I could feel rather than what I could see and hear. That was really how I developed as such, and how I found out about it, to be honest. It's a good question. I can't really place it, but throughout the years, it's something that I've just found how I connect. I've read many books, I've watched many podcasts, and that's really how I think I probably found out about it more.
So you've been self-taught then, Steve? You're self-teaching yourself in a lot of things that you're doing.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, I take a lot of advice from people. I've spoken to many mediums and worked with different workshops and different teachers over for a few years, and that's how I've really not so much taught myself, but I've picked it up from everybody else.
Yeah.
And there's loads of things on YouTube I've watched and through the books I've read, and I always listen to all the different mediums and see what they have to say and what they've experienced themselves.
Yeah.
Have you learned some really good ways or different ways of connecting and working with spirit to make that evidence stronger? Or?
Well, plenty of trial and error is definitely the case. I mean, plenty of trial and error. I mean, every link is different. Every mediumship reading you give, every spirit is different. You just have to go back over what you've learned. I mean, if you have difficult readings, you just have to think back to what you've learned before. You learn from your mistakes, you learn from your errors, and I do really. What sticks in my mind is past mistakes or past, not say mistakes, but past readings where they've not been as easy, or anything. You just revert back to them, and it shows you, other ways of how you should work. Or always remember my good readings and as well, so I can revert back to how how they worked, and that's really how I've done it, to be honest. Yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, is there any techniques that you'd for those that are listening, because we have quite a lot of people that are interested in developing, listening, Steve. So is there anything on your journey you'd like to kind of say, maybe try this or don't do that? Is there anything that you've picked up along the way?
Definitely, I'd say patience is one of them. Have patience, and also don't be put off with anything that you get wrong. if you get things wrong, you get links wrong, you don't feel you're connecting properly. Don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Ever give up, because the only way you're going to get there is by trial and error, and the only way you're going to get there is by practice. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
As you keep going and keep going, you don't never be put off. And if you feel you're put on the spot, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because I know a lot of mediums, myself as well. I put lots of pressure on myself over, things I shouldn't have done, and you don't need to. That's definitely one of them. And yeah, that's the main. Don't put too much pressure on yourself is definitely the main thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting your journey into becoming a medium. So I kind of don't like that word, because potentially we're all mediums, aren't we?
We are. Everybody is born.
I do believe that we can all do this.
Everybody is. Yeah, sorry. Everybody is born a medium and born a psychic. It's like being born. Anyone's born to play the piano, and everyone's going to be Elton John. It's like that.
Yeah.
But the more you practice, the better you get. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah.
Everybody is born psychic. Everyone's born a medium. We all have the ability to connect with the other side.
Yeah.
We all have the ability to connect with our intuition. It's just it's learning how to work with it. It's practice.
Yeah.
And development.
A lot of questions come in already from different people.
Sure.
Have we got throw the questions out? Yeah.
We've got we can throw a really big one here. I'm going to show this. We're going to have to read it out really quickly. Okay. Don't know who this is from, but hello to you anyway, because you're obviously coming through a group, and sometimes the settings can put us out. Sorry, Steve, I just blanked you out. So hi guys. So I keep being told I'm by medium friends. They think that I'm a clairvoyant. I'm not too sure. I see flashes of light out of my peripheral vision. I see like milky white shadows moving. I have outline of people walking by, blue orbs, white light, smoke appearing, felt things, experiencing things, moving in my home, sometimes sitting in my bed when I'm in it. I don't know what it is to feel like, picking up on energies. Sometimes the room will feel electric. Any ideas, guys? Thank you for your question.
Yeah, thanks ever so much there, Facebook user.
Big one.
That's quite a big question.
Yeah.
Don't know where to start. You just let my dog out. He's just barking.
Yes.
Be a second.
Yeah. Not being funny. I've got to say, I love the dog cushion in the background as well.
Yeah.
Really, Steve, you're a dog lover. You love your dog. It's on your cushion. I'm loving that. We'll give him. We're going to tease him when he comes back in.
I'm back.
Hey, is that your dog on that cushion?
No, actually, it's not. I wish it was, actually, to be honest.
Should have said yes. I'd have been well happy.
Could get one like that, I suppose.
Show your support for dog lovers, but yeah. So, in terms of your own experience, mate, I mean, when did you dawn on you that you could do this?
To be honest, I never really felt anything too overpowering. I never I never saw people here in front of me and tell me I could do this. So it was just an interest mainly. But I did have people tell me that are clairvoyants and psychics tell me that I could do it. I probably had about 3 or 4 of them that told me that I was sensitive and that I could use it develop as a medium. But I never really, to be honest, there's nothing that really stands out as such. But I did, as a child, on a few occasions, I did see people, spirit people, physically in front of me, or around.
Yeah.
And it wasn't scary at all. There was quite a few experiences I had, but it was something that really pushed me forward. I mean, it encouraged me to do it, I suppose. But yeah, to be honest, there was nothing major, but it was just a few things over the time. It was mainly out of my own interest that really got me into it. Yeah.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because some people feel compelled to do it. Some people, there's so many different ways that people come into mediumship.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Some people have a trauma or something within their lives. So many people we've had on here. Some people are confessed to being alcoholics, and they kind of come out the other side. So for you, it's just a progression into mediumship because it's something you enjoyed and connected with.
Well, when I started it, I absolutely loved it, and I devoted my time to it. It was my vocation, if you want to say that.
I was going to say, there's something within your soul that drew you to this.
You wouldn't do this unless you absolutely loved it.
You're not going to go, do you know what? I fancy a bit of being a medium now. Because it's not that like that, is it?
It's not like that at all, no.
I mean, it's dedication, devotion, a commitment. patience, all of that adds up and more.
And it's the empathy for people. It's the empathy for spirit. You know, if you're not going to, if you have someone that's just, you know, lost their son, you know, a woman that's just like absolutely devastated, you have to understand their pain, and you have to know how to work with them properly. You know, you have to pick your words very, very carefully. You know, this is somebody's life, and you can mess people up if you're not careful. You know, you have to realise that it's serious, well, not serious business, but it's very important that you're very careful of what you say and how you treat people, and you know how you present them with your readings and the language that you use. That's always very important.
Did your courses help you with that you went on?
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, my one of my teachers, he always says to you, you've got to pick your words very, very carefully. You know,
can we give him a shout out to your teacher?
Yeah. You want to
yeah,
know who it is?
Yeah.
His name, Anthony Kessner.
Oh, yeah, we've invited him on. We've invited him on. So hopefully, Anthony, if you're watching tonight,
have you invited him on?
Not
tonight.
Not tonight. No, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we have invited Anthony.
If he appeared very soon, I'd be a bit freaked out.
We have got some amazing guests coming on Spiritual Talk that are coming up. We've been working, and a friend of the show, Carol's watching tonight. We've been working really hard this last couple of weeks, and we've got some amazing guests coming up. So,
Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, absolutely. So, also what I was going to say, there's a question here. Carol, actually, it was Carol that asked this question. Did Spirit try different ways of working with you until settling to where you are now?
Good question. Probably. I think I really learnt myself. I think really my clairsentience is what really, when I started to learn how to use that, and I felt I could feel spirit, I could feel, like if somebody had passed from a heart attack, I could feel my chest racing.
Yeah.
If somebody had passed an accident, I could feel trauma. The other day, someone had jumped up, they'd actually fallen. It was somebody's brother. They'd actually fallen off a balcony, and I could feel the impact, and I could see him actually falling, and I could feel the impact on my body. And I said to her, I said, I feel I've got your brother with me, and I said, I feel there's an accident. And she went cold, and I freaked her out a little bit, I think. But what I could say, it's from what I experienced, physically, as they connect with me, I feel more physical on the physical side. So that's really what I think. That's how I feel like how I learned, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I learned how to connect with them.
Do you mind if you answer that, Anthony, as well? Because I kind of think from all of the three of us being mediums, it's quite interesting your perspective on what you get, mate. Do you find you've settled in working one way?
For me, it seems to be changing all the time, just lately. But with the clairsentience, I know what you said with what you said, Steve, about how you physically feel it as well. But you can also get other things, the senses with the smells, the tastes as well, which is also being sensitive to those senses. The play on the word gives it away, and how Spirit have got their unique way of working with us in that way as well. If you've got for example, if that person had a limp or a broken leg, or you get the feeling of that, not just pain, but sort of a disabling feeling as well. So like you say, if you're deaf or in one ear, they'll take that away and give you that kind of sense. But that's mainly how I also get it in a different kind of way as well. But what you've just explained about, someone dying and feeling that impact.
Yes.
That's once again a different level, isn't it, of clairsentience too.
The other thing I must say is names as well, which they're always very tricky. And they're always different in every single way. You might see it written in the name, or you might hear it, or you might get a feeling that it could be. Names are the one that really get me.
But here's a question. I'm going to ask you this then, to both of you guys. Names, right? Is the biggest thing that we want. Yeah. We want names. We want street names. We want surnames. Okay. I mean, for me, names is the holy grail. I've got your nan here. It's Mrs. June from such and such from 24 Hillcrest Street, you know, you'd be blown away, wouldn't you? Is it your fear? Because how come we can get great evidence, we get a great message, and you see so many mediums working, you know, and they'll give evidence and they won't get the name, but then suddenly bang, the message is superb. Is it our fear that blocks it? Is there a level within the medium that, because then you're going into, do you know what, no, don't understand that name, no, so you get the no's, then you're thinking, well, I heard that, I trust my connection. What's that done? So is it our ego that gets in the way? What is that for you guys?
I think with the no's, when you start, somebody you say a name, you could give an amazing message. The no is what brings your, let's say, confidence. The energy comes down when you start getting no's. You're up there, and then you go, "Oh, I've got something wrong," and that's what brings it down.
Absolutely, the energy just comes down, isn't it?
Energy comes down straight away.
For me, it's like what you were saying, Paul. It is the holy grail. I call it the jackpot. But it necessarily can be make or break sometimes with a certain people. For instance, like in an audience-based setting, you can get that one skeptic, that nightmare person in the audience who is like not convinced by anything apart from that name that clinches and connects with the rest of the message for you or for them to say, okay, he's a brilliant medium. No, I'm going to talk about him till the cows come home kind of thing. But it's usually, for me, I think it's a fear thing. It's always been, that's me being honest, for confidence over the years is with the actual side of it with names, because it's like make or break. And it's, for me, if you hear it as clear as day, you just say it, because they'll go, oh my God, yeah.
How do they go? That's dramatic. I love that.
It can be dramatic. The response.
But I love that. I'll take that anyway.
But I find it exciting as well. I don't know about you two. You know, when you get it, you make someone's day, can't you, as well? Yeah.
Melanie Broughton, she's just put a comment up. Hi, Melanie. Spirits are very clever. I've had 2 names today which made sense to me. So that's really good. Really good, Melanie.
Brilliant.
But it is the Holy Grail, street names, you know, the likes of Gordon Higginson and others. I remember watching Gordon at if you look on YouTube, guys, there's one of him in Scotland, and he says, I've got a Mr. I believe it's Mr. Spinks. And he talks about him being an undertaker. It's one of my favorite clips of Gordon because it's fantastic. And he goes, I'm here around here I'll give a rough area where he was, and he gets this gentleman, he's Mr. Spinks. He said he's measuring me up for my coffin. So I know he was an undertaker. Of course, the audience are laughing at this point. And then he's sitting there, standing there, and he goes, and he actually points to them. Then he says, I know he's given me Unthank Road. And the guy says, yeah, that's me. And Mr. Spinks used to live in Unthank Road. And I know Unthank Road, it's Norwich. So it's wonderful evidence. You can't get any better than that. Really. It's just fantastic. I mean, I've had it. I get street names occasionally. I had one recently, Eaton Road, and it was where the lady worked. Her father said to her, she goes to Eaton Road every day, and she works there. So I mean, it's lovely when you get that information, when you can hear it clearly. But I think it's that as mediums, we get such in the fear factor of getting it wrong. Especially when you're demonstrating, like Anthony and ourselves are going to do a demo tonight, or we're going to attempt. So guys, if you're still watching, we're going to send some messages your way, so tune in. We want to give this great information. We want to prove life is a proof of survival, but it's getting into that fear, isn't it? I mean, for you, Steve, have you developed certain techniques to kind of get through that? Is it your confidence as well?
Confidence is the main thing. I mean, everyone, I think, not every single medium struggles with confidence, but it's when you're performing in front of people or somebody's paying to see you. There's always that fear factor that it's not going to go well. But to be honest, I always try and remember the good readings I've done, the good messages I've given. That sort of pulls me through it. I thought that's more how I work. Definitely, not every reading you're going to give is going to be perfect or brilliant. Mediumship can be very frustrating at times. Some days you're not as good, some days you are. some readings don't go well, some readings go very well.
Yeah.
It's just one of these things. But one thing I always do, I feel that when you give readings, you're being shown a lot of the time. I'm being shown my life, my own personal life, as I get connections with spirit. So it's like if something's happened to me in my life, it gets repeated to me, so that when the spirit come through, if I've witnessed an accident or if I've witnessed, whatever it could be, it gets played in my mind. I don't know if this happens to you too at all.
Yeah. I had a really interesting one where a gentleman, it was up in Sheffield way. A lady had come down from Sheffield to see me. I remember this clearly because it's still harrowing now. I'm sorry if you're of a sensitive nature, I'm going to describe something that's really horrific. So, and I saw, although I didn't actually feel that, I saw the gentleman had stolen a motorbike. And was he still no, he was on a motorbike with no helmet, and the police were chasing him. And he went through traffic lights and he hit a bollard. And the last thing he saw, he was showing me through his eyes, was the boots coming across the ground from the policeman. But they knew he'd died at the scene. It was awful. So I got that. But he was just trying to express how he passed to me.
Yeah.
So so as a medium, and you've got to hold that together when you get information like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if that's horrific, and condolences to, well, actually no one, I don't think anybody would be listening from that family, but it was, but these things happen.
Yeah.
These things happen. So we've got loads of questions.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anthony, go on, mate.
I was just going to add to what you were saying, Paul. I mean, even though it's horrific from their point of view, it's the evidence. Say, this is me. I'm proving that this is me. I'm okay. I'm all right now, sort of thing too.
See, I had a stage in my development where I wasn't getting any suicides. Now, my best mate, he even now I can feel it even when I mention him. So a suicide was a problem for me because my best mate had died from taking his own life.
Yes.
Now, but then I went through a period in my own development where I was getting suicide after suicide, and I had to deal with that. So when I was ready for it, I went to another level of my own mediumship. And do you find that as well? How do you deal with suicide, Steve, when you get that coming through?
Well, I always make sure. I've had quite a few suicides actually, and I've had a few recently. And I can remember one, and I could actually feel the noose around my neck. And I said to this lady, I'll never forget this. I said to her, "There's a man I've got here called Paul, and he hung himself." I said he crossed himself over. I mean, he took his own life. I always try and make sure I say it right because it's.
Yeah.
And she went, "No." And I kept going on, and I kept going on. She went, "No," and I described this man, and I said to her, "You're married. I think it's connected with your husband." And she asked her husband. Apparently, it was his best mate, Paul, that to himself, crossed himself over, and. There's been others, and I always try and my best to word it in the right way. I mean, it's heavy, and I always explain to people, and I say to them, I usually say to people, this is going to be heavy, this is going to be quite, hard to take, I know. But when I always get a feeling when somebody's committed suicide, I always get that sort of feeling that there's been. You just get a sense. I'm sure you probably both do as well, and I just make sure that I word it in the right way. And I just do my best not to offend them, and because it's hard for them to take. It's hard for them to be reliving the trauma. Yeah. Even if it's not necessarily connected with them, it could be connected to someone else in the family that they're not so close to.
I think, and there's some questions on here. There's so many great questions. Thank you, guys. And Jill, can I just quickly? I mean, how do you prevent messages and connections affecting you personally? That is fantastic. I mean, there's loads of questions. I'll come back to the questions, guys. But
what a question, I should say.
But you wouldn't be human if it didn't affect you. I mean, the worst case I ever had was a lady that drowned her children and then threw herself off a multi-story, 8 months pregnant. She came through. That is horrendous. I just can't imagine. But the worst of it is the state of mind. I don't know about you guys as well. Do you pick up their state of mind, that depression, locked, almost like a locked-in kind of, they can't see any way out. And that in itself, and it takes. I have to kind of go and do my own thing. Maybe I play some online chess sometimes. Sounds a bit geeky, but I play some online chess, and I just do things that I like on the garden. How about you guys? How do you deal with that?
I try not to let it affect me. I don't actually remember any reading that's really affected me. I do feel a lot of empathy for people, but I try not to get too involved emotionally with things like that, because I'm pretty tough in that sense. I feel myself that I can take things like that, but it's really it's not easy for people. I try not to get too emotionally involved, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you get emotionally involved with when you're given the message, though?
I always
afterwards.
I kind of, not completely, but I always feel compassion and everything for people. Yeah. Depends on the reading, how if it's a very positive reading, if they've got loved ones that come through and it's there's nothing that traumatic that happened, and it's fine. When it comes down to suicides or tragedies, then it just depends really.
Yeah.
Every reading's every reading's different, to be honest. But no, I rarely get too taken away by it, or it doesn't affect me too much. But I meditate or anything else that calms me. But to be honest, I've not had that many issues.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I always find, like similar to you, Paul. Take yourself away after, do something that you enjoy. Being out in the garden, in nature, whatever. Go for a walk. Connect.
I found having that experience of losing my friend, I can empathise with them, and it's really important that we empathise rather than sympathise.
Yeah,
energetically, that could be a problem if we give too much of ourselves to that person. So we got. Sorry, guys, if we're missing some of your questions. Here's one from Sharon. Does a person own full and varied life experience benefit when you die? I think yes, kind of tapped on that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Definitely.
And the more experiences you've had in life, and the people that you love and lose, and the more, absolutely. Sharon.
Your life gets played to you in a reading. Usually, your life gets what you've experienced through life gets shown to you throughout readings, and it helps you connect, helps you understand what the spirit are trying to say to you. I do believe that your guides play a massive part in that. They show you what's happened to you in your life. As we said earlier about the accident, your motorbike accident, that you saw, that's a major part of it, I think.
Yeah.
So life experience is a major thing for mediumship,
and a lot of
experience to empathise with everybody else.
Yeah. And a lot of mediums, different mediums I've spoken to, they have suffered big time. Themselves, different situations, and I think that makes you more varied in respect to the question, what was put up on screen there. But it helps you, of course, then help others, and that's great.
Yeah. Okay, there's a big one here from Tina. Sorry, Steve, this will cut across your head again.
That's fine.
I'll read it as quick as I can.
I want to let me dog in quickly.
All right, go on, do that. I will read this from Tina. Hi, Tina. Any of you guys know what blue orbs mean? I've seen one couple months before my brother's passing. It was electric, stunning blue color. Never seen one before or since. I did what most people would. I tried to rationalize it as it appeared. And when I could not figure out what it was, I got scared of it, and as soon as I felt fear, it just went away. Never forget the color, though. So vibrant, just electric blue. Oh, electric blue, moving slowly in the corner of my room.
Wow.
I had this question the other day when we was doing the Royden Psychic Nights, Spiritual Talk Psychic Night at Royden. We had exactly the same question. Woman had exactly the same experience where she'd seen this electric blue, large blue orb. Could it be a soul light, potentially?
I've never seen a blue orb before.
You haven't? No. This is the thing. I mean, I've seen a couple that was the one that I saw was probably the size of a tennis ball, but it was like a bit bigger actually than a tennis ball, but really it startled me because I was sitting in circle and it opened my eyes, and it was like, the only way I can describe it was like
Yeah.
Usual. That's what we do. We do that. Did we imagine that? That's the first thing we do. There's potentially a soul light. I can't be 100% sure. Tina, how about you guys?
You, Steve?
No, I've never seen a blue. I've seen orbs, the clear orbs, but I've never seen a blue one.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody walk into the room when you're working? Any spirit actually physically walk into the room?
Yeah,
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
I get quite good clairvoyance, and I've seen it with what I call my three-dimensional vision as well.
Yeah.
I was watching going back to 2005 when what they call it with Simon Cowell when he first started. I remember watching a program, and this energy came in the room. It was outlined shape of a human body, but it was just all white, and it walked across the room, went out through the door. And I looked because my friend was in the room, and I thought, do I say something? But they were looking at me. Did you see that? So it was okay. It wasn't just me.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
One thing I do get occasionally, not very often, is I get banging on the walls or banging on the ceilings. The door get banging on the doors. Occasionally, I hear people breathing or sort of muttering.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Actually, I find it fascinating.
So some of our viewers are sending us in clips. Okay, I hope if Emma is listening, I got sent a clip on Sunday, and her lovely sister Lou was watching. Was also involved in this, and both Emma and I were looking at this clip. What looked like a being, an orb that was moving. The way it was moving, it could have potentially have been an outline of a person. But the way it was moving, it was definitely a conscious being. The way it's movement, rather than just being a shadow or a reflection, turned out to be a spider on the camera, on the security camera. How funny is that? So not everything is as we think it is, or what we hear. So yeah. So that was. Sorry, Emma. Me and Emma both getting carried away with that, but Lou was like, "No, it was a spider." She had the same effect on her camera. So it was quite funny.
Just quickly going back to orbs, there is a book I've got somewhere. I have to try and hunt it out on different colours on orbs. So I'll see if I can find that somewhere. But you can get material that does explain each one, but I think the colours do represent different levels of realm as well, different levels of awareness and that. So there is an understanding with the colour rather than it just being a pretty colour as well. So yeah. I'll see if I can find that.
Okay, so I've got a couple here. Some great questions coming in. Keep them coming, guys. Where was it? It was a really good. Well, one from Zoe. Hi, Zoe. What's been your favourite experience in mediumship, Steve?
I've always really loved when I've got people, getting names is one of the best things, I think, of getting somebody's name, and their first and last name has been the most, one of my favourite experiences. As for one thing in particular, I don't really know, to be honest. Definitely names, first and last names I've got. It's just I've just enjoyed every experience I've really had, to be honest. As I've progressed and got moved on with everything, it's been a whole range of things, to be honest. Definitely getting names right. That's been my favourite.
Yeah.
How about you, mate?
It really, I think it's to do with more the character, to do with the actual how they're coming across. Because, for instance, if it's a gentleman and they're coming through as granddad, they could be a brother to someone. They could be, of course, granddad, but they also could be, a different kind of connection with another loved one. So it's what the memories, and bringing all that jigsaw puzzle together really is what I really sort of enjoy the most out of it, and seeing how, of course, everyone loves the yeses from the person you're giving a reading to, but to see that clip, that movie clip, come together, and being blessed as the medium to be allowed to see that glimpse of that person's life and how that connects them with their loved one sitting in front of you. That's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, for me, I always get amazed when I hear and feel the excitement of spirit, but giving them that opportunity to connect to their loved one. And the way I kind of equate that is, you imagine not having a mobile phone or not being able to talk to your family for 5 years, and suddenly you have got that opportunity to tell your loved one you love them, and that you're okay. I can literally feel that their excitement about connecting. So great questions we've had.
Another thing I would say as well is when you pass through messages to people about, you know, how they try to make themselves known, you know, some things that they may move in the room, or other little signs that they've given, you know, that's got to be one of them as well. And that's got to be one of them, definitely. All sorts of ways that they show you what happens in their house or around them, where they live or whatever, where they work. There's little signs that they leave, and they don't always notice, but they come through in readings. You're able to pick up things. They think it's a bit strange that you've said that. But there's certain little ways that they do try and make themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Always amazes me when I do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So great one from. I've got so many questions. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. One coming in from Sharon. Steve, has your close relationships changed around you? How are your friends and family? Have you noticed a change within? Are they encouraging or happy?
Everybody so far, my close friends, family, they've all been fantastic. I couldn't ask for anything, you know, different really. No one's, you know, judged me. Nobody's, you know, tried to put me off.
Really
you know. I've always been supported by, you know, and it's always proved to me that I've had good friends and family. Yeah. I must say, you know, you find out who your true friends are through things like this, and I can't complain about any of them. They've been fantastic. Yeah.
There's one here from Jay. Hi, Jay. Good to see you on, mate. And he's put, have you ever been unable to get a reading? And if so, what do you do next? I think he means if we get nothing. Is that what you mean, Jay? Nothing? Yeah, I think that's what he means. If you're not getting nothing.
That has happened a few times, and what you do, I've always said the same thing. I always apologise and I refund them. You know, it does. I don't know why it happens, but it does happen at times. And I've had it before. Even when you start with a link, and it just goes dead, or you just can't get the person in front of you. Sometimes I think that you can't work for them. Maybe the spirit can't use you as a medium, or you just don't get each other's energy. I don't really have an explanation for it. It has happened before. All I can say to them, all I do when that happens is I apologise, and I refund them, and then hope they can find somebody else that can do it for them.
Do you know the difference, Steve, where it's like mainly like a pause within that time, like a bit of a gap, a bit of a pause, and then it suddenly continues, or whether it's a complete blank?
Yeah, I can. That does happen even when I'm giving an hour's reading. You know, you start off very well, and then it can go dead. I always open my mind, and I always bring back whoever wants to come in. And sometimes, you know, it starts up again. It's fine. Sometimes it doesn't. But there's a pause. You know, you said there's a difference between a pause and a complete blank. I can probably suss out the complete blanks quite quickly, but as for a pause, I think it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. And all I do is I just open my mind and I keep going, and bring in whoever wants to come in. If they can't take the person, if they can, great. You know, if they can take it, but it's going to happen eventually, no matter what. You're going to bring somebody in they can't take, or it just happens. And I don't really have, you know, all you can do is, you know, as I say, apologise and move on. There's nothing that you can do about it. Really.
Well, sometimes they might not even want the person to come through. It comes through. It's like, what? I don't want to hear from them.
That's happened a few times as well. Fairly recently, I had a lady that came for a reading, and I said, I've got a man here called Robert. And she went, no, straight away, no, thank you, no more. And I went, okay. And he went, somebody else came through, and I won't go into details, but he wasn't nice to her in life. And she said to me, he's come through loads of times through other mediums, and he comes through in her dreams. And I said to her, just ask him to leave you alone then. And
did you? I mean, I find the very same thing. It's almost like spirit are trying to give them the opportunity to apologize to that person.
Yeah.
For their own personal growth, because even from my understanding, my limited understanding of what happens in spirit world, they try to help them grow and to look at their mistakes and work through that. I've seen that quite a lot.
Yes, definitely. And I had that recently with somebody, and I said to her, it was her dad that came through, and he wasn't nice to her at all. And I said, how I actually put it was, I feel that, you know, an apology isn't good enough. And she said, well, I have accepted, you know, I've understood that he had a hard life himself. She said, I have forgiven him in some ways, but I said to her, I don't think that he can apologize. I think that it's apology isn't good enough. You know, it's not, I'm sorry. It doesn't, you know, you can try and say it, but it doesn't go everywhere. You know, it's not going to go. It's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to even everything out. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. It's probably more about the person's own self healing when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know,
I believe when you pass, you need healing. A lot of people, spirit that pass over for the first year. You know, best time to try and contact someone is after a year. So they can come through before, but the best time is after a year, because I believe within that year they are, you know, looking over their life and healing themselves, because nobody's perfect in life, are they? You know, we all make mistakes, and we all make our, you know, say things we shouldn't say and do things we shouldn't do, and we leave some people in a terrible state. Yeah, and we leave our lives, and people have suffered because of our, you know, what we've done. But it's always very important that there is time between that. You know, people are able to grieve or able to heal themselves. You know, have their own counselling, or if they've been left in a terrible state by someone that's since passed. You know, and from both sides, there's healing that's needed. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I'm literally, guys, I'm sorry if I'm trying to get to everyone. I know some people have asked 3 or 4 questions. I'm trying to get at least one question from everybody. Jill, Anthony, great shout. Can you put that book title on, if you've not joined the Spiritual Talk group on Facebook, just hop on, I'll get you in, and we'll put the title in there, won't we, mate?
I'll see if I can hunt that out for you, Jill, and also others as well. It's just a general sort of understanding about, you know, orbs, and there's so many. There's so many. It's, you know, but there's a general understanding.
I think someone must say it might be an angel orb. I'm not sure. This is a great question, guys. This is from Melanie. Hi, Melanie. Can being recently bereaved make you more sensitive to spirits? I don't mean in a wishful thinking way, rather like you're opening the door. I think that's more about your own heightened senses. You're going through a bereavement. It's a trauma. Your own senses are heightened. So therefore, you're more aware of your surroundings. I think it's when Steve, when you were saying about developing, when we go into development, we're developing, and Sean as well, you're sitting in that energy in circle. Sean was talking about to me earlier today, she's now sitting in circle and being in around people, that energy, your senses become more heightened.
And of course, we touched on that earlier, didn't we, as well, with trauma and difference being sensitive, because as mediums, as people, you know, who, even if we're not mediums, but we are interested in spiritual kind of matters and things, you know, we are sensitive souls. You know, we are probably a little bit, I don't know, more sensitive than other people, but probably slightly more empathic in different ways and more multifaceted within our own selves. But I think thinking back when my dad died in front of me, the trauma changed me. It was like being a new person after that event had happened. So I think, of course, what you were saying, Paul, totally agree with you, mate. Also, the trauma would then, of course, have those invisible scars, which would make us more empathic to the people we help as well. So I would say that in that sense.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Steve? Your turn.
My turn. Yeah. Very much the same, really. Your senses are heightened and things like that. I think it's also you're putting that out to the spirit. You know, you're depends on if you're a believer or not.
What if you're not, Steve? What if you're not putting it out there and you haven't experienced? I mean, I know when my dad died, it was like a week or so after my dad died, my nephew had an experience of my dad coming up the stairs. He said it was so real, but he was coming half in, half out of sleep. And you could say maybe he's sensitive, I don't know, but he experienced my dad. So, was it because of the trauma of losing his granddad? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. It's a hard question to answer. Really.
It's a hard. I think. Yeah, it is. It is.
It's personal.
Yeah.
It's
a sense. So it's there's no scientific proof in anything. So it's got to be what you believe in. You can. It's your own personal how you take from something like that. It's got to be your own understanding of it and how you choose to take it. I think a lot of the time.
Yeah. Sean's coming with a good question. Jay's come back to us as well. Hang on, Jay, I'll just come back to you here. After a year, you say, my dad came to me a few months after he passed and yoked me. He never came, he'd be coming back. He kind of set that in stone for me.
Right.
At least he communicated, Jay. He's connected. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm not coming back. I'm having a great time over here. Yeah, that's awesome.
Brilliant.
Oh, Carol's asked, Steve, do you know how well do you have a relationship with your guides? Is it a personal thing or is it just you're just aware of your team?
I think it's very personal. I mean, I've had one guide with me. I've had him ever since I reckon I was a little boy. I've been aware of him, and I've had it. He works with me, all the time. I call him all the time. How did he show himself to you as a little boy? Did he show himself, or? I would say it was more energy based as a little boy. I wouldn't say I physically saw him, but I was aware of, if you're as a medium, again, it's my clairsentience, so I could sense his energy. But perhaps also, I feel like if you come closer to me in dreams, or he'd come through when I was at my lowest, I could feel him. Yeah. And he showed himself to me more when I became more into as I developed into mediumship during meditation, and as I was using my clairvoyance and clairsentience. He came through. He looks a bit like an Eastern European monk. The best way, cross druid Eastern European monk. I did have a picture of one, but what he looks like, I haven't got it on me at the moment. But he's very, very interesting guide. Have you got a Facebook page, Steve? I do, yeah. What is it? Let everyone know what your Facebook page is. I haven't got a picture of him on there. Oh no, okay. I don't know because I want to know how people can contact you. Yeah, I've got a Facebook page and everything like that. Yeah. Have you not got my No, we haven't. I couldn't find it. On the banner. We'll put it up on the banners. Don't worry. Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, we will put it up. But can you plug it now? Is it just Steve Razzell? That's it. Yeah, Steve Razzell Media. I think. Cool. We'll plug that. It's my bad. I forgot to do it. I'm so bad. That's okay. No worries. I had COVID about 6 weeks ago, and I keep getting this fog, so I'm hoping to get rid of it soon. But I'm also gone vegetarian, so I'm not sure if it's a bit of both. Oh. So okay, so get back into it. Where have we got Sean here? Great question from Sean. If spirits show themselves to you, and you don't want to speak to you, but you don't want to talk to them because you're doing shopping or something, will they listen to you if you tell them to leave you alone for now? Well, I've never in my life, only when I work do I communicate. Yeah. I don't, it's like, you don't walk down. I don't walk down the road. I go to the shops and see people walking next to me, talking to me. It's none of that I've ever experienced. None of that, It's only when I work. I mean, you have a sense of, you have to ground yourself. You have to be in control all the time, and you're the medium. You're the one that can control that. I mean, I've never, ever experienced anybody walking, in the shops or the supermarket, whatever, talking to me. I don't think that's possible, actually, to be honest. Do you have a way of sort of closing down after a reading, Steve? I always ask. I always talk to my guides. I always make sure that my energy, because you do get drained very quickly. You're too switched onto it. I always ask them to step back. After every time I've worked, before a reading, I always ask them to come in close to me. I always ask them to, use my clairaudience, clairsentience. I have my own way of doing that. But after every reading, after every time I've worked, I always ask them to step back, and I always ask them to step away from my house, my room where I'm working, and call in my guides and call in for protection, just to keep myself, undrained. Because there have been experiences before when people haven't left, and I don't want to frighten anybody, but there have been times where people haven't left, but I've not asked them to leave, and they've stayed, and a few things have happened.
Yeah, heard that. Yeah, that's quite interesting, that one. Yeah,
that's why you always have to ask them to step back.
Yeah.
And there have been, there's been a few things that have happened when I haven't, and I've learned from that.
Don't want to scare anyone, but yeah,
No.
there is sometimes these things can happen.
Another great question from Holly. Hi, Holly. Great you're tuned in tonight. It's great to see you. Have they ever told you what happens next after we die as such?
No. The thing is with mediumship, it's not like somebody talking to you over a phone. It's not somebody's voice. It's through sensitivity, it's through images and through feelings and through sound as such. But it's you don't actually have somebody talking in your ear. I've never had that. So you don't really get told, what's on the other side or what's going to happen next. It's just feelings you get. And I've never, I can't say they've ever told me what happens on the other side or what's up next.
There's we've got one of our listeners, a guest, on the show, Mickey Havelock. She died and had a near-death experience, guys. Well, if you want to watch that one, Mickey Havelock, it's on our YouTube pages. And she died in hospital for 20 minutes, but her experiences are amazing. So have a little listen to that interview. It'll blow you away about the spirit world. Yeah. So there is a lot of what they call near-death experience people out there. Have a little listen. And there's a book by Professor Raymond Moody that talks about near-death experiences and how whatever culture these people are from, belief systems, etc., they're all pretty much the same. So have a little look. I hope that answers your question, guys.
Yeah.
This again, it's one from. Oh, Sean's asked, can a loved one be a spirit guide too?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think your guides are given to you at birth. If she means if they passed before you were born or if they passed when you were alive, I'm not really sure. But I wouldn't have thought so. I'd say they were probably more like a guardian angel, if anything.
Yeah. I think it depends on what level, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know Anthony's that because when I first met Anthony, it was through his dad.
Yeah.
I connected with the Arthur Finley College, and I know your dad's watching keenly over your development as a medium, etc. And so I know loved ones get involved in terms of try to support and help us, definitely.
Yeah.
Whether they're guides, though, Sean, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Maybe. But we've got another one here from Sandra. Then we're gonna round it up. So, Serena, sorry, not Sandra.
Hi, Serena.
Hi, Serena. I have many dreams of loved ones that are not here. Is it possible for loved ones to visit you in your dreams?
Yeah. I do believe so. Yeah,
absolutely.
I do believe there are. I mean, they are able to. Certainly. I've had a few myself. Can't remember them. How exactly the dream was, but I do believe that they do come close in dreams. Yes, most definitely.
And sometimes they're not even dreams. It's like they're between dreams, aren't they? Yeah. Sometimes, like you're not actually asleep. You're sort of just about to wake up. That sort of time between when you're coming out of the dream. Yeah, definitely. I've had a few of them in the past. So
yeah. That's how I first connected with my dad, and I started to doubt myself because I hadn't heard from my dad for 5 years after he passed. Why is it? My sisters had experiences, but I'd not heard from him. But it was in a dream that I first heard him. And then I heard his song that he used to sing, an old London song, Henry VIII, I Am.
All right.
So he started singing that. So
they come through when they're ready. I think they do come through when they're ready.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't come through unless they come through for a reason, and whenever they're ready to make an appearance, they do. I mean, you know, some people that have lost somebody, they've missed them terribly. I mean, they're not always ready to come through. Maybe they can't. I don't know if they can. Maybe they can't. But sometimes they're just not ready.
That's it.
You just have to be patient with it.
The timing is impeccable as well, isn't it?
Oh,
the way spirit work. Sometimes I have to have a bit of banter with my guides, a bit of a laugh, because I just find it hilarious sometimes. Because the stuff the way they come through, it's just the timing is just on the nose, isn't it? Every time.
They know a lot more than what we do.
Yeah,
what's going on. They do know a lot more.
The intelligence
have their nose in a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Steve, we want to thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Thanks, Dave. Brilliant.
Before you run off for your cup of cocoa and your biscuit, can you tell us what's next for Steve Razzell?
What's next?
What's next for you, my man? What's happening next?
What's happening next? I just hope to carry on what I'm doing. I have plans for the future. I do hope to my business to actually increase and I hope to bring in more people and grow grow as a medium, and that's what I want to do. I want to carry on with what I'm doing, and
So you got YouTube. I'm gonna ask you one more thing. Have you got like different irons in the fire or something, different ways to help different people, or is it just mediumship?
Mediumship, intuitive talking, intuitive answers. People do ask me questions, and I answer them intuitively. I always do that in my readings. I always say to people, if you've got any questions, and I can answer them, as much as I can. If it's about the spirit, or it's about what we're going through, and it usually does work quite well. I've had some good feedback, so I'm happy with that. But I've always, I'm a Reiki master as well.
Okay.
Sharon just put healing, and you're doing healing already, so that's fantastic.
I'm a Reiki master as well. Yes, so.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
It's a combination of everything,
Yeah, so, we've really enjoyed talking to you, mate.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. So thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Both.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and we'll keep an eye out for your progression. We'll definitely.
Thank you very much.
We'll want to watch, definitely.
Just quickly, do we want to get Steve to pick someone?
Oh yeah.
Meet.
Or we can wait because we keep sharing.
Yeah, no worries.
Wait, unless you want to come back on in about 25 minutes, Steve, and pick a winner.
Pick a winner. Okay, if you keep me in the room.
Yeah, I'll drop you out and put you on mute so you can go and have a cup of cocoa and stuff. So,
and I'll listen to your mediumship.
I'll bring you in. Yeah. Okay, mate. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks, Steve.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.